Hello and welcome to episode 28 of SirSmuggler's Let's Play. Now before I continue with the signaling system for my rails here, I would like to start up a new quarry. And I marked up a place back there where I want it. And but before I do that, I have something else I want to do. Remember the phosphorus that the demonic bees produce? I think I told you before that if I place sand and phosphor in a squeezer, it should produce lava. And since I'm going to get a lot of sand from that quarry, and I already have more sand than I know what to do with, I thought it would be a good idea to make it produce some lava. So I put up my squeezer here, and I've started some other system. Well, we can put up the pipes here, I suppose. So let's take our... Also, I want this to be powered by a steam engine. We'll see how that goes. And hook up a pipe there and have supplier pipes here and here. And we can take this one to supply 2 pieces of charcoal. I'll go with charcoal here because that gives my arboretum here something to do. To produce wood for a furnace that is set up as a charcoal producer with the crafting pipe. So that's working nicely. And if I tell this one to keep some phosphor and some sand, not quite that much. Yeah, sure, why not? And let's see. We got a bunch of stuff coming in here. Sand landing nicely, and there's the phosphor. So that seems to be working. And what else? Well, we're going to need, of course, a wooden waterproof pipe to pump out the lava into this guy. But before I continue with that, I want to try something else. Remember the coke ovens? I put up gates there to disable the supplier pipes. I want to do something similar with this guy here, because I don't want him to constantly demand more sand. So what I have done is this. Since I do have a dedicated chest for my sand and sandstone, I have a lot of sandstone, don't I? Well, anyway, I was thinking as long as there is room for sand in this chest, that guy, the squeezer back here, should not be requesting more sand. So it will only take what sand comes in, that is overflow. And since we have this set up with the terminus module to take sand, previously all sand that couldn't fit in this chest went to this terminus module and was compressed into sandstone. Now the supplier pipe has higher priority than the terminus module, so all excess sand should now go back to the squeezer if possible, and if the squeezer is full and then I guess the pipe will not request an extra sand, and if we still have surplus, it's gonna go to this terminus module. Now, how do we get the supplier pipe to not constantly request things from this chest here? Well, I have put a diamond gate on that chest. Let's just... the diamond chest there. That's our sand chest. And here's a gate. And I put the condition in here that if there is space in the inventory, and then I put in sand here. So that means this condition will be true only if there is sand, space available for sand in the inventory. You've seen me previously use the space in inventory but without anything specified, because the iron gates that I've been using don't have this extra condition where you can specify a specific item. So I want to put up some wire, and we'll see how we are going to get that over to that gate. Anyway, now I can say send a blue pipe signal if there is space for sand. Like so. So I'm gonna fix the wire here, probably use this pipe here and come up somewhere around here. I should be able to get that signal out to the supplier pipe. So I'm gonna fix that and I'll be back. So I fixed the wiring here. It goes along that part and up there and out to the squeezer. So now we can put on a gate on this pipe, and let's see here, the blue signal is basically the go signal, so I want to tell this one if you don't have if the blue pipe signal is off, then you disable the pipe. So when we have room for sand in that chest, this pipe is not going to request any more sand. And perhaps I want to do something about a gate to manage this engine as well. I could just leave it running because it's going on charcoal, and that's a renewable resource anyway, and I got so much wood. So yeah, but just to be safe I'm gonna put a gate and leave conditions for the heat level of the engine. So let me just get another gate and I'll be right back. And I have my little gate here. Now the reason I am powering this squeezer with an engine and not hook it up to the main power line down here is mainly because, as with most forestry machines, this guy is gonna consume power even if it doesn't have anything to do. So I'm gonna go with this instead. So this is an AND gate, so if engine is red, wait a minute, I don't have, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the opposite. So if engine is blue or green or yellow, send the redstone signal. And doesn't appear to be working. Why is that? Yeah, of course I need an OR gate. Stupid me. Because this one's gonna send the redstone signal only if all three conditions are true, and obviously the engine cannot be all three colors at the same time. So I'm gonna get an OR gate and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got an OR gate. It's an iron gate, but that's okay. Now this one can only handle 2 conditions, but I think it's okay if it only runs on blue and green and stops once it hits yellow, even though red is the dangerous part. So that should work nicely. I will hopefully produce some lava, and of course we want to pump it out. So if I hate wasting things, in case you haven't noticed. Like so, so. That looks good. Yeah. Seems to be working really fast. It produces a lot of lava. So that's gonna be a good income, since, you know, the lava is gonna go into the mineral extractor. That's gonna produce some nice things for me. Gold is, as usual, what I'm running low on. And did I do this the other way around? I think I did, actually. Let's go check. Because we do have room for sand, yet it keeps requesting more, so yes, because I send the blue signal when there is room for sand. So we want to do it the other way around. Pipe signal on, disable the pipe. So now we shouldn't get any more sand into this. And why is this one not working? Okay, that might be a problem. When I disable this pipe, I suppose I disable all the functionality, not just the supply function, but also the routing function, so this guy cannot request its fuel when this one's turned off. Well, that actually works out quite nicely, because, well, there's no point in this one running if we don't supply this one with what it needs. So if I insert some more sand, I guess we'll see if things work as I was thinking. So let's go check on that. As usual, I take the wrong chest, and we have tons and tons of sandstone. So if I were to grind up some of that into sand again in this grinder here, the blue signal there should turn off. Yep, it sure did, and some of it gets turned back into sandstone immediately. So, does that mean we get stuff in here? Should have some charcoal coming in, if this works as I thought. Maybe not. So I'm gonna have to do some bug hunting here, and I'll be back when I have some idea about what's going on. Actually, it was quite simple. I knocked off this pipe to switch out the gate, and I forgot to specify its needs after that. So now then, any charcoal? Yeah, there comes the coal. And this guy starts working again. Excellent. And I suppose I should try to remove some sand again and see if this one is going to keep supplying with charcoal, or if my first hypothesis was correct as to the disabled pipe functionality. Actually, there already is room for sand, so yeah, the signal is on. Let's see then. We got the blue pipe signal, so the pipe should be disabled. Nothing more enters. And once this one has burned through a bit of coal, actually I could just take it out and wait for a while, and we'll see if it gets resupplied or not. I'm kind of hoping it won't be, because that would be, but it does. Okay, so it disabled pipe only disables the extra functionality. It doesn't disable the item routing functionality that all logistics pipes have. So, okay. Good to know. And it's about time to sleep again, so I'll go do that, and then I'll fix up this little fence that I have around. So I'll be back in a minute. And now everything looks pretty again. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the charcoal consumption here and see if that's gonna cause any problems. I think we should be fine, because this tree farm will produce plenty of plenty of wood. And here we have the... Why do I have excess charcoal in there? Oh well. Crafting pipe telling it to supply wood, and you get charcoal. So that's known to the system. And this is of course an electric or powered furnace from APS. Powered by these peat-fired engines. So, of course the peat farm is automated since long back, so I don't quite understand how it deposits and withdraws items from this chest, because it keeps getting like pulling from both ends, it seems. I can do this every now and then, but it's still gonna be left with like one in each spot. But it doesn't matter much. So, let's see. Yes, quarry. So I'm going to continue to set up the new quarry for a bit before I continue with the rail signaling system. So I'll be back in a few minutes. So I got the new quarry set up and starting to build. It's not going to be quite as huge as the last one, because that was a bit excessive. And I just moved the rail system up with it, so same setup as last time. So I'm gonna turn on the rest of the engines here again and let it run. Just want to see that it gets started properly and that the rails still work, even though it's a bit longer now. And here we go. Yeah, working fine. Okay then, I'll just leave that running and head back to, yes, signaling. I want to set up a few more auto crafting things if I don't lose my mind completely before I get into this building. Okay, nice and easy. So I have put up an auto crafting for lime dye because we are gonna need that. And let's request, what do I need? So we're gonna need some yellow, that green thing, red, glowstone, redstone, and I believe I already have some glass panes, yes. And of course it's gonna hide any glowstone or redstone in my backpack. And I need to clean out my inventory. Anyway, let's see. Glass panes, green, yellow and red, glowstone and redstone gets you the signal lamp. Now this is a component in the signal block that we're going to use to detect if there are any carts on the track. So as per usual, just hook it up and import. So now we can request signal lamps, a couple of those, and we're going to need controller circuits that I set up auto crafting for in the last episode, and we're going to need some iron, and finally ink sacks. Two of those, and the iron, of course, in my backpack. So, a light, controller circuit, iron, and ink sacks. Something like that. Okay, exactly like that, only one step further up. Yeah. Block signal. Two of those, thank you. Now let's see where we're gonna put these. Now, the way this works is you can put up you can fall off the track. You can put up a block signal next to a track and another block signal further down the same track. And the pair of them can detect if there are carts along that stretch of rail or not. But they can't handle curves, so you can only set them up on straight lines. So I'm going to start off by putting it at the longest straight line that I have, and that's going to be this part, of course. And kind of try it out and see if I can get it to work. But I just realized I am going to need a few more items to configure these signals. So let me go craft those. So let's see here, we need a couple of buttons, a compass, pane of glass, signal block surveyor. So let's see what we can do with this. So let's see here, if I put down a little post to place this guy on, just because it would look kind of nice. Blinks red. And I should have brought a cart with me. Whee! So I'm just going to go all the way back to, well, at least almost all the way, to set up the other signal. Let's say somewhere around here. Maybe this would be good. Like so. They don't need to be in a straight line or anything like that. The track needs to be straight. It can go up and down a little bit, but it can't have any turns in it. At least that's what I have read on the wiki. So now I can use this signal block surveyor and block signal started. We're going to place down our cart and see if we manage to connect these two together so that they know they are connected. Successfully defined signal block. As you can see, the light is green now, and can't really see the other end. Maybe you can see it. I can see it, but it might not be visible on YouTube, but it is green in the other end. And if I place down my cart here, you see it turns red. And once it passes, it turns back to green. Now if I push the cart the other way, it's going to be yellow and red when it's standing still. So A green light means there are no carts on this stretch of rail between these two signals. A red light means there is a cart either stationary or moving towards the signal. So when this one is red now, that other one is going to be yellow, because yellow means there's a track on the cart on the track, but it's moving away from the signal. So now we can detect if there's something on the track and which direction it's moving. And next we're going to use that to implement some kind of holding system so that carts are not allowed to enter this stretch of rail unless it's clear from other carts. But as usual I'm running a bit long here, I think, or I will be if I continue with this, so the rest of this setup will have to wait for next episode. So I hope I see you then, and until then, bye bye!